All right, let's talk about food. It feels like everyone's got some complicated diet plan, right? Well, today we're going to cut through all that noise. It's not about starving yourself or weird rules. It's actually way simpler. It's all about balance and figuring out how to take back control of your health. So let's jump in.
Okay, let's kick things off with a number that is, honestly, pretty wild. 75%. And this comes straight from the American Heart Association. Think about that. 3 out of every 4 people on this entire planet are eating way too much salt. Not just once in a while, but every single day.
So that huge number just begs the question, right? We hear it all the time. Don't eat too much salt, watch your sugar. But what does too much even mean? Like, what is it actually doing to our bodies when we go over that limit? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
So, I want you to think about your diet like a bank account. You've got things coming in that are like assets. They're good for you. And then you've got other things that create a deficit, pulling you down. The problem is, for a lot of us, our health account is, well, it's out of balance. And we might not even realize it. It's time to get those books in order.
Okay, so first things first. Let's tackle those deficits. This is the too much list, the stuff we're just consuming way more of than we should. And you'd be surprised, just by getting a handle on these, we can make a massive difference for our health down the road.
And yeah, you probably guessed it. The first big deficit we need to talk about is salt. I mean, it's everywhere, isn't it? It's not just in chips, it's hiding in all kinds of processed foods, and there are even small amounts in things like milk and veggies. The real issue is that the total amount we're eating is just way, way too high.
And look, the consequences here they're really serious. This is not a small thing. We are talking about a direct link to 2.3 million deaths worldwide every single year. That's because all that extra salt is a huge reason for high blood pressure, which, as you know, can lead straight to heart attacks.
So what's the goal? What should we be aiming for? Well, nutritionists say the magic number is right around 2 to 3 grams of salt for the whole day. Just to give you an idea of how little that is, a lot of us are easily eating double that, sometimes more, and we don't even know it.
All right, let's move on to the next item on our deficit list. And again, this one won't be a surprise. Sugar. We all know it's in the obvious stuff, sodas, candy, cookies. But the tricky thing is, it's also hiding in places you wouldn't expect, like bottled juices and even in some savory foods.
And just like salt, the risks here are pretty big. We all know about its connection to diabetes, but it doesn't stop there. Eating too much sugar can also mess with your blood pressure and, get this, it can even make conditions like arthritis worse because it causes inflammation in the body.
Okay, last one on our too much list. Let's talk about harmful fats. Now, this is a big one because it's super important to remember that not all fat is bad for you. But there is one type we really got to keep an eye on, and that's saturated fat. So what is saturated fat anyway? Well, it's the kind of fat you find in things like butter, a lot of cheeses, and red meat. A little bit here and there, not the end of the world. But when you start eating too much of it, that's when it's linked to some pretty negative health effects.
All right, enough with the doom and gloom, right? We've talked about what to cut back on. Now for the fun part. Let's flip this around and talk about what we need to add to our diets. This is where we start investing in our health, focusing on the assets, the good stuff that most of us are just not getting enough of.
And our number one health asset, the absolute superstar, is fiber. Seriously, this stuff is a powerhouse. It's incredible for your digestion and just your overall health. But for some reason, it's one of the first things that disappears from our modern diets. And making the switch is easier than you think. It's really just about making smart swaps. So instead of refined flour, go for sprouted grains. Instead of refined sugar, grab whole fruits and veggies. And maybe swap that white rice for something with a bit more oomph, more fiber.
And why bother? Well, the payoff is absolutely huge. For starters, fiber keeps you feeling full for longer, which means you're less likely to overeat. It's also amazing at helping to keep your blood sugar and insulin levels in check. And yep, studies have shown it can actually help you lose weight. It's a win-win-win.
Okay, on to our next asset. Remember how we said not all fats are bad? Well, here's the other side of that coin. We're talking about the good fats, the beneficial fats, and these aren't just nice to have, they are absolutely essential for your body to function right. So, instead of always relying on sources high in saturated fat, the trick is to start using healthier oils when you cook. I'm talking about things like peanut oil, sesame oil, mustard oil, even coconut and flaxseed oil. These are packed with the good stuff your body is craving.
So we've spent a lot of time on what to eat, But here's something that I think is so interesting, and we often forget about it. How you eat is just as important. Seriously, the simple act of changing how you eat can completely transform how your body digests food and absorbs all those good nutrients.
Okay, so here are 3 super simple but really powerful habits to try. Number 1, slow down and chew your food properly. I know, your mom told you this, but she was right. It lets your saliva do its job. Number 2, try drinking your water after you eat, not during. It helps keep your digestive enzymes from getting watered down. And number 3, try to eat your meals around the same time every day. Your body loves a routine.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. The good, the bad, the how. So what's the big takeaway? What's the simple blueprint we can use to actually put this all into practice, like today?
Honestly, it all comes back to that simple idea of the balance sheet. Just think about it that way. Every day, your goal is to do 2 things. Reduce the deficits, that's the salt, the sugar, the harmful fats, and at the same time, increase your assets, that's the fiber and the good fats. That's it. That's the game.
And this quote really just says it all, doesn't it? It's about balance, it's about the right proportions, and it's about the right time. If you can get those 3 things working together, that's the real secret to staying healthy for a long, long time. So, I'm going to leave you with this one final question. You don't have to go home and throw everything out of your kitchen. That's not the point. Just thinking about everything we just talked about. What's one small, easy change you could make for your very next meal? Because really, that's where it all starts.